me tell you one thing. When you see me on this platform today, you see a finished product, right? Tell you my past, you won't agree with me. I had to work on myself, to work on my attitude, to work on my feelings, to work on my pride, to work on so many things. So when you see me on this platform today, I have worked on myself. And God has worked on me. I give God all the glory. Because God has molded me and crushed me. Hello viewers, hello beloved, hello children of God. Good to see you today. Thank you so much for always coming back to watch our content. I don't take it for granted. Thank you for your support. Thank you for sharing this content to your network. I'm so glad that you're doing so to the glory and honor of God. Thank you for your support. I'm excited. I'm glad that you're supporting this channel to the glory and honor of God. May God enrich you, may God expand you, and may God meet you at your most point of need. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Ruth. Here I share the word of God. I motivate and I inspire. So if you've been looking for a channel to motivate you, to inspire you, then you are in the right space. I'm going to encourage you. Please proceed and subscribe to this channel so that anytime I upload a new video, you're always among us, the first people to be notified. And I'm also going to encourage you, anytime you visit Inspiration Garage, make sure you go back. We have a lot of videos on this platform. Make sure you go back and watch our previous messages on this platform. And trust me, you're going to be motivated. You're going to be nourished. You're going to learn something to the glory and honor of God. And please stay tuned up to the end of our message today. So welcome. So brethren, let's go straight to our message today. And I've titled this message The Power of Forgiving Yourself. I've done a video on this platform about forgiveness, forgiving other people, the power of forgiving another person. But today I'm going to focus on the power of forgiving yourself. The power of forgiving your inner feelings. Brethren, God has instilled greatness in most of us. Many of us, God has instilled greatness in us. But because you have not forgiven yourself, you cannot be able to experience the greatness that God has instilled in you. You understand? When you have not forgiven your inner self, when you are living in your past, you are living in your guiltness, and God has instilled greatness in you, there's no way you are going to experience the greatness that God has instilled in you. Reason because you are still holding on your past. You have not forgiven yourself. You know, forgiving yourself is crucial. But you have to face it. It is not easy as I'm talking to you today. But you have to face that giant. Forgiving yourself. You know, you cannot pour from an empty cup. You have to fill your cup for you to be able to pour into another person's cup. You cannot give what you don't have. You have to fill your cup for you to be able to give someone else. The same thing applies to forgiveness. You can't claim you're forgiven your neighbor, you're forgiven your father, you're forgiven your colleague, you're forgiven your cousin or your sisters or your spouse, but you have not forgiven yourself. You have to start to forgive yourself. It all starts with you, brethren. Forgiveness. Forgiving your inner self. You know, when you go outside here, you hear women of God, motivational speakers talking about forgiving other people. I know there are blessings connected to forgiving other people. I don't refuse. And there is power in forgiving your neighbor. But there is an extraordinary power when you heal yourself. When you forgive your thoughts, when you forgive your inner feelings. I'm going to tell you my own life experience. Living in pain. At some point in my life, very close person to me uttered very harsh words in front of me and in front of other people who are around me. And it really got into me. And I've been living with that pain. You know, what unforgiveness does, when you hear someone talk something bad about you, or they rebuke you in front of other people, when they mishandle you in front of other people, when it sticks in your head, you continue thinking about it, dreaming about it, thinking about it. So as your mind continue working onto that particular event, you start feeling that you are that person. For example, when someone calls you a dog, when it sticks in your head, you start feeling that you are a dog. It's funny how our mind works. You understand? So you start looking at yourself and imagining, I might be a dog. You understand? Mental. It's all about mental. And it lowers your self-esteem. So you stay with that pain and you don't forgive yourself. So you find you have forgiven that person, but you have not forgiven yourself. The truth of the matter is, you have not forgiven that person. You have to deal with it by yourself first. You have to work on yourself. So I dealt with it and I faced it. And I forgave myself. And it really boosted my self-esteem. The second incident I've incurred on forgiveness, or about forgiving myself, when my mom was sick during the pandemic. I was pregnant. I could not do anything. I could not travel up country to go and help my mother. So when my mom passed on, I've been living with that guilt. I will not tell you I've overcome it. I'm still dealing with it, because anytime I think of my mother's death, it keeps on ringing in my head. The feeling comes back. I could have done something better during that time. Maybe my mother would not be dead. Guiltless. So, truth of the matter is, I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm still dealing with it, even up to now. In that particular situation, I've not forgiven myself. I've not forgiven myself. It's still in me. You understand? And many other examples of forgiveness, forgiving yourself. So if you don't forgive yourself, you hold on to that pain. You understand? So you live with that pain. And the greatness in you, the potential in you, it's pressed down. Because you start imagining that you're not valuable. I could have done things better. You understand? And I know many of you, at this point, you understand what I'm talking about today. Many of you can relate to this situation. Some of you have been in toxic relationship and they did not work and you parted ways. So the guiltness is still within you. You have not forgiven yourself. You start feeling, I could have done something better in this marriage to have worked out. You understand? Some of you, your mother rejected you when you were a young person. So you have not forgiven yourself. You have grown up feeling unworthy, feeling not valuable, you know. So you have not forgiven, you have carried that feeling into your adult world. Forgiving yourself. Some of you utter toxic words to your cousins, to your friends, and you cannot reverse those words. So you have been living in that guiltness forever because you can't reverse those words. You have not forgiven yourself. Some of them, your past is messy. It's mess, my friend. The things you did when you were a child, even in adulthood, you can't even explain to people. So you can't open up the society because it's very judgmental. It's very harsh outside here. So you keep it to yourself and you stay with that guiltness. There's no way the greatness in you can be experienced because we are living in guilty, friends. You have not forgiven yourself. Some of you quarreled with your parents back then. And you abused your mother, you abused your father. You told your father you won't go back home again. So you can't go back home because you're living with that guiltness in you. The children ask you, Daddy, Mommy, can we go home? You can't go home because the guiltness is eating you up. You have not forgiven yourself. Some of you offended a friend, maybe at a place of work. You terminated their jobs, or you offended your boss. You talked bad about your boss. So you're holding on to that guiltness. Because of your pride and your ego, you can't face that person again. So you're holding on to that pain, brethren. Forgiveness. Forgiving your inner self. Forgiving your thoughts. Forgiving your actions. Forgiving your feelings. Forgiving how you feel. Forgive, just working on yourself, brethren. It's not an easy task, but you have to face that giant. If you want to move to your greatness, you have to face that giant. Let me tell you one thing. Sometimes when you're dealing with that situation, most of the time the people around you don't even know what you're going through. It's a secret that most people are living with. And I know most of us are dealing with that kind of trauma. I know most of us are passing such kind of situation right now. You committed a crime and you are unable to come out of that trauma. You did an abortion, you are unable to come out of that trauma. You offended someone, you talked ill about someone and they came to know about it. You are unable to come out of that trauma. Brethren, you need to understand today, everyone has a past. Everyone has a past and some people have terrible pasts. Yours is not unique. Let me tell you one thing. When you see me on this platform today, you see a finished product, right? If I tell you the behind scenes, or if I tell you my past, you won't agree with me. I had to work on myself, to work on my attitude, to work on my feelings, to work on my pride, to work on so many things. I used to hold on people. You tell me something, I take you and I keep you in my heart. So I start walking around with you. You understand? So I really worked on myself, worked on my image, worked on my feelings, worked on my thoughts, worked on my pride, worked on my selfishness. I used to be me and me alone. Very pride person. The attitude I used to have, not about them, it's me. It's supposed to be mine. So when you see me on this platform today, I have worked on myself. And God has worked on me. I give God all the glory. Because God has molded me and crushed me and worked on me. Worked on my image, worked on my attitude, worked on my appearance, worked on my pride, worked on so many things. So it takes a step with you to forgive yourself. What you're doing, you're carrying your pain to the next generation. Let me tell you one thing. I've done a video on this platform about pain. forgetting about your pain and moving to your greatness. I'm going to tag that video here. Work on your pain, move beyond your pain and walk into your greatness. You're denying yourself joy, the present joy, because you're holding on your pain. It's very important for you to understand today, there's no way you'll forgive someone else if you have not worked on your own forgiveness. Working on yourself. You need to understand that Jesus paid all at Calvary. When Jesus died and rose from the dead and the tomb is empty, we were delivered from all our pains. We were delivered from all our past. The tomb is empty. I know many people are not born again right now because you have that feeling that what I did, it is too big that God cannot forgive. You're holding on that abortion. You're holding on that messy past. You know, you're holding on the toxic words you uttered. So you feel like my problem or my past is too big that God cannot forgive. I'm here to tell you today that God has already forgiven you. Everything has been paid at Calvary. Your sins have been paid at Calvary. The tomb is empty. Once you understand that, you'll walk to your land of greatness, brethren. So once you forgive, it makes a space for healing. You start to recognize yourself and to discover yourself once again, once you forgive yourself. When you set your mind, you're not perfect. You're human beings, you're bound to make mistakes. So when you forgive yourself, speak to your inner self and forgive yourself. Forgive your thoughts, give your mind. That is now journey to healing. And when you heal, you are able to forgive your partner, you are able to forgive the other person, you are able to forgive your mother, or you are able to forgive your father or any other person you offended after you have healed yourself. You see, I had to work on myself to heal, for me to be able to come here and pour out what I have to you. If I was empty, I could not be here today. So it starts with me. I have to heal first for me to be able to come here and pour it to you. You understand? So that is journey to healing. If you want to heal, first you have to forgive yourself. And when you forgive yourself, you create a space in you, you create that space in you, and you start healing and discovering yourself once again. So as I wind up this video, let's look at the journey to healing, journey to forgiving yourself. So the first thing you need to do, you need to accept ownership. You need to accept that it's true, I offended someone. It is true, I uttered toxic words. It is true, I behaved in this manner which was not pleasing. It is true, I failed in this relationship. That is a fact. So you have to accept ownership. Before you heal, you have to accept. If you don't accept ownership, there is no way you're going to heal. So accept, yes, it happened, and take ownership and start healing. Tell your mind, yes, I did this, but Jesus Christ has forgiven me. You understand? Because I tell people, I used to be a judgmental person. I could see you and judge you. But one thing I've realized in life, yes, I know your past. I can't judge you with your past because I don't know if you made peace with God. I'm not sure about your relationship with God. So there's no way I'm going to judge you because I don't know if you made peace with your maker. You understand? So you have to make peace with God. Accept ownership and make peace with your God. Whom am I to judge you if you made peace with your God? When you make peace with God, it's final. So one, accept ownership and make peace with your God. That's the journey to healing. The second step you need to take, you need to apologize. If that situation can give you an opportunity to apologize, then go ahead and apologize. If you're on the wrong, then go ahead and apologize. You understand? If your mother is still alive, go and make peace with your mother. Go and make peace with your father. If there's something you did that cannot give you a room to apologize, then I repeat the same thing, make peace with your maker. If the other party is still alive and he or she is not ready for dialogue, what you need to do, it is okay. God has already approved it because it is from your heart you want to make peace. If the other party is not available or she is not ready to forgive you, then it is okay. Go ahead and make peace with your maker. Journey to forgiving yourself. So once you forgive and once you apologize, that is your journey to healing. So the third option you have, if it's so hard to forgive yourself and if it's so hard to apologize, what you need to do, go and talk to men and women of God. Find a local church near you, find a counseling center. Most of these counseling centers, they have men of God. Talk to them. They'll help you, they'll guide you to journey of forgiveness through Jesus Christ. And I want to tell you one thing. I know forgiveness is hard. It's hard. It's not as easy. It is hard. Especially if you're on the right. It is hard, brethren. Especially when someone offended you, it is hard to forgive. It is hard, trust me. But I have good news for you. That is the good news I have for you today. It's your takeaway home in this message today. Jesus Christ has forgiven you. When Jesus died and rose from the dead, the third day, everything was forgiven. You have been forgiven and you have been set free, and you're free indeed. So whatever you did in your past that is holding you not to give your life to Jesus, I want to tell you today, you have been forgiven. There is greatness in you. I know that so many women and men of God outside here, there is power in you. There's greatness in you. You have been ordained to preach, to worship, to exalt God. But you can't do that because there's something that is holding on you. The devil is telling you what you did, the abortion you did, whatever you did at home, what you said, it is still in you. It is a lie. The devil is lying, brethren. Tell the devil, I'm free and I'm free indeed. I want you to walk to your land of greatness. Your past pain is doing more harm to you. Is holding your greatness. If you're still holding on your past, you'll be in that cocoon. You can't stretch further because you're holding on to your past. What they said, what they did, what I said, I could have done better. I could have done this way. I could have saved my marriage. I could have saved my mother. I could have saved my sister. The guiltness is still coming. The feeling is recurring every now and then. There is redemption, brethren. You can redeem yourself at Calvary. Jesus is calling you today. There is greatness in you. There's no any other bigger sin. We are all sinners. And we have all gone short of God's glory. So God is here to redeem you, brethren. There's no bigger sin. I want you to walk to a journey of greatness and forgive yourself. Forgive your inner feeling. Forgive yourself and walk to a journey of greatness. There's no way you're going to forgive other person if you have not forgiven yourself. So start with yourself, forgive yourself, work on yourself, and walk to a journey of brethren. And you have not given your life to Jesus, I'm going to ask you today, give your life to Jesus, and your life will never be the same again. Say a short prayer, wherever you're watching me from. Ask forgiveness. Everything was finished at Calvary. Ask Jesus Christ to forgive you. Surrender your life to Jesus. Ask forgiveness and identify a church near you. And the elders of the church are going to pray for you, and they are going to lead you in the ways of the Lord. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I'm going to encourage you to also share this video to your networks. If you find this message interesting, or if this message has inspired you, kindly share these messages to your network and like this video. It really supports this channel to the glory and honor of God. I'm still going to ask you to go ahead and subscribe to this message down below here, so that anytime I upload a new video, you're always amongst the first people to be notified. And thank you so much for being here, and I'm going to see you next time in our next video, to the glory and honor of God. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.